What is going on, true believers? I hope you're having a great morning. My name is Bleaves. We're here to talk about this crazy crypto world. And if you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. We're going to talk about Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, who praised Kamala Harris' nuanced approach to cryptocurrency, raising the ire and fear of every single person who came out of their bunker with a shotgun in hand, talking about the end times and the end of the world, and the only way to pay for stuff is Bitcoin without electricity. It's just getting wild. Dogs are mating with cats. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. All of this because you don't like somebody's opinion. By the way, you haven't lost any freedoms under the previous administration. The only freedoms that you've lost in the last 15, 20 years, bump stocks. That was it. And that was overturned by the Supreme Court. So a lot of people crying about a lot of nothing because guess what? Rupert Murdoch, whatever your job was, you did it. So the XRP army is fired up. Why? Because they want the freedom that only Trump is telling you that you are going to get. And he is still the candidate that you should be supporting if you support cryptocurrency. However, if you're hedging your bets just in case because you see some of the quote unquote writing on the wall and you think that writing indicates that the Harris campaign might be the one that's going to win, then it would make sense if you're Chris Larsen to make a donation. And you could still quietly make a donation to the Trump campaign because it doesn't really matter. You're trying to broker some kind of deal. And of course, you know, if history tells us anything, then it tells you that if you make a big donation, you tend to get things your way. So if you're doing that for that reason, then ta-da. And look, it doesn't matter what some people think. It doesn't matter. What matters is what the majority of people really in the swing states think. And either way, I'm good. I prefer Trump. I'm going to vote for Trump, but I have no interest in Kamala Harris and the uncertainty around crypto that she represents. If there was some if there was some reasonable amount of clarity from her, maybe. If there was some kind of reason to think, hopefully, that she would look out for the better interest of cryptocurrency, maybe. But at this point, there's no reason. There's no reason to think that that is the case. So let's talk about all that and more, because we got a lot actually that's breaking out here. A lot of it concerning Ripple, a lot of it concerning Charles Hoskinson, who came out of his bunker with his shotgun and said, y'all come back now. You hear? They're coming they took our jobs, or whatever stupid shit that Charles Hoskinson likes to shout out in the middle of nowhere where he lives with a bunker. I'm not kidding, by the way, with his bunker. And he said that shame on Chris Larsen for having an opinion that doesn't align with his opinion, which I don't know if I can argue with Charles Hoskinson on this one, but we're going to try to argue just to see what happens. Anyway, it's not financial advice, but believe Sinatra is always right.
I can read a chart like a Superman, and I've got a show that has a lot of fans. I'm streaming every day and almost every night. I bought some Bitcoin cause I'm always right. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleaves. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you. I built a crypto channel, streaming live at night, and I'm the only YouTube streamer who's always right. Every morning I go live and say to all you guys, don't fall for all these other people and their lies. You might wonder who I am, but don't forget that I'm the man. They call me Bleaves. I'll do any chart you want me to. They call me Bleaves. I'll break a crypto wallet down for you, for you, for you. I don't know what to.
All right, guys, let's kick it off. Let's figure this crazy stuff out. If you like this type of content, make sure you hit the like button on the way in. Helps push me up in the algorithm, and that allows me to continue to do this. Guys, just so everybody understands, and so that we're clear, the way that this works is ad revenue and tips. So if you want to talk about one of your cryptos, leave a tip and super chat, and we'll talk about whatever crypto you want to talk about. Or if you want my opinion on a crypto or something like that, do it with a super chat, and then we're good to go. Otherwise, we're going to talk about all the stuff that I want to talk about. And the first thing that I want to talk about, because I think, and I continue to think, that it is the most important piece in cryptocurrency, and that's the fear and greed index. Right now, that fear and greed index is still cooking at around 70. Now, you might be saying to yourself, what did I tell you? I told you between 20 and 30, that's when you want to sell. When it goes over 70, I'm sorry, when it's 20 to 30, that's when you want to buy. When it's between 70 and 80, that's when you want to sell. And I told you before that if you do that, you're going to be successful in crypto, except when you're getting to the bull run phase. Now, we are at the phase of that this is the early part of the banana zone, if you will, that super spot where altcoins and everything start to really rip. But we're not there yet. It is my opinion that we're not really going to be there until January. So I would suspect that we might have a nice little pump coming into the end of October, maybe not more than we are right now, by the way. And we should at least acknowledge that, we're up about 5% so far. Not great, but up 5% is up 5%. Next month, maybe we have a little bit more of a pump, something like that. Then we'll have a little bit of a correction in December. And by the way, that does not mean that it's just going to be one upward candle. At this point, there's going to be some profit taking along the way. So we're going to have peaks and valleys for the next month and a half, 2 months. And then January gets here, and then everything changes and the real bull run starts. And I don't think we get into that face melting portion until maybe the beginning of February. That's when we really start to see some real upward momentum. And by upward momentum, I mean, something like crypto.com or something like that goes like immediately 2 or 3x out of nowhere. Or something like Aave, it absolutely soars. Or Kraken, which, by the way, Kraken most likely is about to explode in price, because there's a layer 2 blockchain coming from Kraken, and it's going to be on the Optimism network, just like Base is. So guess what? That means that most likely we're going to be looking at a competitor to Coinbase in the United States, in Kraken. They want some of that smoke, baby. So some Kraken meme coins are coming. That's going to be a lot. Look, I think, in my opinion, if you guys remember Phantom a few years ago, they had spooky stuff coming around Halloween time and stuff like that. Imagine having like a Kraken ecosystem where you have an Atlas token and a Zeus token and a Perseus token, and you have all kinds of different. I think that with the Kraken, I think you're going to see a lot of old Greek and Roman mythology meme coins and stuff like that. And I personally cannot wait for something like that. So anyway, back to the point. Fear and greed index is sitting at 69 right now. 69, dude. So it could be that we've got some more dip coming, that we should really at least kind of zoom back out and say, well, you know what? Right now it's probably time to sell and get back over here into the fear, and buy back in when the fear hits. Now, that being said, guess what? We're up $25 billion on the day. So it looks like the market does not want to capitulate, if you will. And shout out to the Trump token, which is starting to run right now up to 340. Remember, I bought $1,200 at like 345. So I'm almost back to even again. Dipped a little bit further than I thought it was going to dip. I really thought it would reverse at around that level and take off, but it's up 8% on the day. And shout out to Myro, up 10% on the day. So fear and greed sitting in a decent spot right now where it looks to be cooked. It could, and by the way, remember what I told you before still remains true. If this continues to cook the way that it's cooking right now, then that bull run, we're going to be in the 70 zone and above for the entire bull run. So we'll be in the greed portion of this for a long period of time. But for right now, it is my guess that we're going to see some downward momentum coming. pretty soon that we'll see another dip, at least one more dip. And to be fair, let me just tell you where I thought it was going to go right now, down to at a maximum 60,000. Most likely somewhere in the 62, 63 range, where these we're getting that golden cross, which will happen in the next couple of days. You can see that right there. That golden cross is getting ready to happen, where the 50 goes over the 200. So, and that should be by the end of this month. So I do think that we're in good shape. Ultimately, any dip that we have in the market is temporary at best, and then it's going to be off to the races, if you will. So let's see what happens. Fear and greed out of control. Let's talk about Brad Garlinghouse. Ripple CEO says Kamala Harris is taking a nuanced approach to crypto, and we're going, oh, we're not, I guess. All right, so Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse offered his most positive statements about Democratic candidate Kamala Harris to date on Wednesday, while attempting to toe his company's official line of neutrality in the 2024 election. During an onstage appearance at DC FinTech, the crypto executive appeared to compliment what he saw as the sophistication of Harris's approach to digital asset, in contrast with the strategy of her election opponent, former President Donald Trump. Obviously, Trump came out early and very aggressively and said he's the crypto president. Kamala and Team Harris have been more nuanced. The Ripple chief went on to laud Harris for announcing last week that she would support a crypto regulatory framework if elected, calling the statement most constructive. While Garlinghouse conceded that President Harris has been relatively quiet about crypto compared to Trump, he framed the Democratic nominee as a pro-technology leader with roots in Silicon Valley, which would actually, I guess, be true in that she was DA in San Francisco. So I suppose that would be a fair enough assessment. Thus, even though the Ripple CEO insisted that the upcoming presidential election will be most crucial for crypto's history, he maintained that either a Harris or Trump victory would spell good news for the industry compared to the current regime. So exactly what I said. Way to go, Brad, for getting your together and thinking exactly what I said. I think no matter what happens, we're going to see a reset. We're going to see forward progress. No matter what happens, we're going to leave behind a failed approach from the Biden administration. Now, I know what you might be saying if you're a dummy. Like if you're like Elon, have an extra chromosome or something like that, and you say things like, well, how come he didn't do it when he was in charge? Because he's currently the vice president. Why is he not doing it? And that's the way you talk in my head, because you say dumb shit, right? Well, the answer to that is the job of the vice president is, there's two things that the vice president does, right? Nothing, because they're just there in case the president dies. So nothing. And then number two, they sit over the Senate and they break ties in the voting process in a deadlocked Senate. So they cast the 101st vote to break ties. So that being said, they have no other power. They have no other duties in the administration other than to sit there and shut up and wait for something to happen to the president or break ties in the Senate. The end. That's their job. That's all they do. So when somebody says, well, how come he didn't do it when he was the vice president? Because the vice president is the person that does everything in the administration, because that is the person that does it. It's not. And you're an idiot for saying stuff like that, because you should learn in civics class how the fucking government works. Like, what are you retarded? What do you have, an extra chromosome? Come on, Elon, get your shit together. Anyway, that's it. That's there you go. Certification of the vote. That's it. That's it. There's nothing that a vice president does. So they have no effect on the administration. In fact, let me point out that one vice president not that long ago named Mike Pence didn't agree with the president multiple times. So, and we found that out later and post fact. Well, then you might be asking yourself, if you're one of those people, when how come the vice president didn't do anything about Donald Trump? Why did they not do anything about Donald? Because they don't have any power, stupid. Come on. Why does the vice president not do? Jesus fucking Christ, man. I can't. Jesus, crypto Twitter. Jesus fucking Christ. The one thing Elon Musk, look, if you ever watch this, Elon Musk, the one thing that you can do, create a goddamn civics class. And the first person that should take it, you. And then after that, we can all get along better, because then we'll know and we won't be like, borders are. Oh, fuck out of here. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, all right, back to the back to the matter at hand. Guys, I'm having a great day. Ex-SEC reveals why appeal is valid against Ripple executive. This is important right here, because some people are talking about, well, this appeal is not going to win. And as we get it fleshed out, Ripple Labs and the US SEC take the long-running lawsuit in the United States Second Court of Appeals. Lawyers and experts claim that the appeal has extended the case by another year. The regulator appealed the summary judgment of XRP sales by Ripple, distribution to employees and others by the company, and XRP sales on exchanges by CEO Brad Garlinghouse and Executive Chairman Chris Larsen. In response to the buzz surrounding the SEC dragging them into the lawsuit again, former SEC lawyer Mark Fagel reacted to it. And by the way, Mark Fagel was not right about any of this so far, so I don't know that he's going to be right about any of it now. So he asserts that the SEC dropped charges of aiding and abetting Ripple's unregistered institutional sales, but other claims against the executives were not dropped. Another expert on the XRP lawsuit, Sherry, said the case against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larsen had been a stipulation on dismissal. The stipulation was that Brad and Chris's individual sales were programmatic ones, which the judge determined were not securities offerings. If the appellate court overturns Torres, then the stipulation allows for those guys to be roped right back in. And that's what they're looking to do. And by the way, not going to happen no matter what, because this thing is going to end up being dropped. Last week, Stuart Alderati shared the good news with the XR community that XRP is not a security, as the government did not appeal that. He added that XRP has gained more clarity as the decision stands as the law of the land. So that's where we are right now. So people who are perturbed by the fact that there is an appeal should understand that the scope and the breadth of this appeal are not as far-reaching as what you might have felt, because XRP not being a security is now the law of the land, and that part is not being appealed. So the rest of it is just window dressing. So that leads us to XRP price. And the XRP price, by the way, is still struggling, because, again, we had that big kind of sell down over the last couple of days after the appeal ruling, which had gotten us all the way up to about 66 cents. So buy opportunity, big time buy opportunity. I'm not sure, by the way, that we won't still revisit some of these lower prices. Now, I told you, I think that, we'll kind of make a range up into this right here at about 60 cents before breaking back out and coming back up. But I thought that we would have a dip down into this range, and we're still not out of that yet. Now, the one thing that I would say in this regard is, if we're looking at it this way, let's clear off a few of these pieces here and look at it and get a clean look at the chart. What you're looking for is upward momentum, and we had upward momentum, upward momentum, upward momentum, upward momentum, sideways momentum. Now, you might say sideways and up, and it's kind of tough to argue with if that's the case. But I want you to know that Ripple, everything was set for a breakout. Like, we were set for just a fantastic breakout, a tightening right in this range, and then an explosive move. So that was stifled by that was stifled by the government. Not that it would have gone right now, by the way. We wouldn't have had that explosive move, I don't think, at that point. Like, it makes sense that it would still take, until right around here anyway for a breakout. That being said, we did come back down into this range, so I would expect the breakout would happen at the same time, probably take us back up into this range one more time. Now, the question, of course, is still, will it dip back down into this 46, 47 range one last time before making that move? And I don't know the answer to that yet, because the market is still just a little bit wonky. It was up $30 billion at one point, down to $20 billion today. We'll see how the US market absorbs what's going on, and we'll see how it reacts to whatever's happening here. So but I do think ultimately XRP not a security, and that's the clarity that the market needed. And as we get a little more wind behind our sails, if you will, as a broad market, then I think that we're going to be in good shape. Now, the other thing is, if you kind of break this down by this, and this, you can still see that we're still in an upward trend. It's clearly upward. So we might just be able to refer to this as a kind of a flag pattern and a consolidation in this range before the next big move. And volume indicator says that we're in a node, that we've got another node at 60 cents and then another node right up here at about 63. So we could be looking at an impulse move to here and then another impulse move up to right about there before that breakout. So that's what I'd be watching for. Now, we're not done with that yet because Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson condemns Ripple's Chris Larsen. Charles Hoskinson critiques Chris Larsen's $11.8 million donation, raising concerns over political funding in crypto. And look, I'm not gonna be the one that's honest with you because that would be rude of me to be honest with you. But the party that Charles Hoskinson is for, let me be very specific here. The party that Charles Hoskinson is in, that he supports, is the reason you can make those types of donations. So the fact that he supports the people who allowed for this to happen is just disingenuous completely. And when I say that kind of mockingly, because the reality is the Republican Party is no longer the same party that it was before, but a lot of the neocons are still there that are still voting however the Republican Party needs to vote, but they're the people that created this problem. They're the people who said in Citizens United that corporations are people too, and that they can have super PACs and they can let their quote unquote voice be heard. And they could throw hundreds of millions, perhaps billions of dollars at these elections. They can give away $1 million a day to make somebody vote Republican, not vote Republican, by the way. One thing that we should recognize, by the way, with Elon Musk, as I've been watching this thing play out, and I know that like the election commission is staring at Elon right now about this vote buying scheme, blah blah blah. Elon Musk is not vote buying. He's not vote buying. He's offering $1 million giveaway every day to people who register to vote. That's what he's doing, and I don't know that registering to vote and giving a reward for registering to vote is going to be a violation of election law, by the way. So when somebody says that Elon Musk is trying to buy votes, I don't think you can make that case. I think that he's just, and by the way, he is doing it. Like, I mean, 100% he's doing it. He's offering $1 million a day to incentivize you. And if you're following him and you're on the fence and you haven't registered to vote or anything like that, you were laying on the sidelines saying, "Oh, I don't think so." That's exactly what he's doing, but you can't prove that. You cannot prove that. All he's doing is offering a reward for registering to vote. And I don't know that there's a problem with that. So I'm going to be interested to see how it plays out. But I think that in this context, even though it looks shady and it looks seedy and it looks disgusting on the surface, to be quote unquote vote buying, which we have outlawed and said is illegal, that's not exactly how this is playing out. That's not what's happening. But wink, wink, he knows what he's doing. So anyway, Cardano founder Charles Hoskinson reacted to an X post by Robert F. Kennedy raising concerns about the current political climate. RFK slammed Kamala Harris for making a fascism comment about Donald Trump, while in reality, Joe Biden-Kamala Harris administration pushed ahead the DoD Directive 5240.01. Yes, that is true, which is gives the Pentagon power for the first time in history to use lethal force to kill Americans on U.S. soil who protest government policies. If you want to understand a politician, the words from her mouth have little relevance, said RFK. Hoskinson stressed this is a betrayal of the Posse Comitatus Act of 1878, slamming the administration for pushing ahead with the directive targeting Americans. And this is DoD Directive 5240.01, which we can go click right here and we can go look this up. And this is the Executive Intelligence-Related Services Directive right here. And this implements established policies and provides direction for DoD intelligence and intelligence-related activities. And it tells you exactly what. And I'm going to be interested and look into this and see exactly what it says, because I would think that something like that should probably not be. And I think that if it were contested in the Supreme Court, that it would not stand. So I would think that there's a possibility that it is. But also, there's the other thing, and this is the other thing, right? This is because this wild shit right here. This is what they use as gotcha. You've not lost any freedom. You still haven't lost any constitutional freedoms. You still haven't lost any constitutional freedoms, and you've also still not lost any constitutional freedoms. So while they do this kind of stuff, and you can not like it, and you can say that, well, the reason I didn't do this is because of the Bunker Act of 1904. I mean, some of this is just fucking silly. So, and RFK Jr., Make America Healthy Again, is supporting the guy who just served you French fries at McDonald's. So none of this shit makes sense. Like when we break it down to little pieces like that, that shit makes sense. Like McDonald's French fries, and you're the healthy guy. So Hoskinson stressed that this is a betrayal of the Posse Comitatus Act. He also slammed Chris Larsen for donating $11.8 million to Democrats. Crypto is still fighting for regulatory investigation, and using it for political context can add complexity to its decentralized and neutral ethos. Well, let me tell you something, fat boy. They're also the people that approved the Bitcoin ETF. They also approved the Ethereum ETF. So when you say this and when you act as if, then why don't you put all the facts out there and not just make part of the shit up as you go, and only take the pieces that you like to support your arguments, unless you just don't want to be fair, and unless you're just a cuck that doesn't really have any natural thought of his own and is just being directed by a cult to say whatever the cult wants you to say. So, and I'm not saying that that's happening. I'm just saying that if it looks like a duck and it quacks like a duck, it's probably a wolf coming for your bunker. Anyway, so anyway, yeah, this is kind of weird and kind of wild. So, and by the way, there's one president that we've talked about just recently that asked about using National Guard and the military on American soil to control riots and Americans. And it was not Joe Biden. It was not Kamala Harris, by the way. So when we say all these little crazy things, let me give you an example. They cry about stuff like this, but there was a thing not too long ago about gender affirming care. And Kamala Harris said that she supported gender affirming care. And that really riled up a whole bunch of people in MAGA land. They cried a long time about gender affirming care because Donald Trump was like, they're taking your kids at the store. They're taking your kids, they're cutting their dicks off, and they're sending them home as vajayjay girls and stuff like that. Well, do you know when that law came into effect? 2019. Do you know what president was in charge in 2019 that signed the gender affirming care law into a law? It was whoever the president was in 2019. So the fact that Kamala Harris supports the president who signed it into law in 2019 shouldn't be weird to the people who think it's weird. Am I getting through? Does anybody hear this? It's McFly, are you listening? Whoever the president was in 2019 put the gender affirming care law into, or the Gender Affirming Care Act into law. 2019. Anybody know who that was? Because the law hasn't changed. The law hasn't changed. But it's somehow Kamala Harris. Was Kamala Harris president in 2019? Do you see how silly and stupid some of this shit is that you fall for? It wasn't her. It was him, whoever him is. So when people say stuff like this, like I immediately lose some amount of respect for if they make a dumb, boneheaded sort of like, they took our jobs kind of thing. It just kind of, fuck my life. Anyway, let's move on because Apple's falling apart and dying. So just in case you guys didn't know, sell your iPhones now because it's over. Apple is going to zero. Apple is on its way to zero because iPhone 16 orders have been slashed by 10 million units, or as we say, it's over, bro, it's over. Apple stocks fell sharply on Wednesday. Reports about cuts in iPhone production and Vision Pro scaling issues triggered the decline. The company's shares dropped 3% compared to the NASDAQ's 2% fall. Trading closed at 229 as investors worried about AI features and hardware sales performance in global markets. Now, listen, it should be noted here that, worldwide, the U.S. economy is the best economy in the world right now in terms of having been able to recover from COVID and stuff like that. But that does not mean that the US economy is soaring and sailing. You know, if you're on the top, it's working great for you. It always has worked great for you. It always will work great for you. For the middle class, we're getting squeezed. We're getting squeezed, and for the lower income families, it's even worse, right? It's worse worldwide than it is in the United States, but it's still not great in the United States. Okay, that's why less people are buying brand new phones because you have less disposable income. If I have more disposable income and you have more disposable income, there's currently 143 people tuned in through whatever social media you're tuned in through, right? If the 143 of us can afford to buy a new iPhone, but everybody else can't, we have a problem, right? So, Apple, this is the first sign of some real cracks in some of the economic production that we've seen in a long time. By the way, Apple stocks did the same thing not that long ago as production came down. The reason that it's a bigger deal right now is because the media wants it to be a bigger deal. It's election time. So now it's time to forward some narratives. Now, if you hear this and you're saying to yourself, yeah, it sounds like a right-wing talking point here that we're making less iPhones because we're getting squeezed from inflation and stuff like that, you're right, because it's Watcher Guru. Now, what does Watcher Guru do? Watcher Guru talks about Donald Trump 24/7 on X. Not only that, but they also have one called Bricks.news where they talk about Donald Trump 24/7. So the people that are in there are right wingers, and it is a right wing talking point, but it doesn't mean that it's not true. People are getting squeezed, and we're starting to see that breakdown in the economy at this point. And, that's why you should vote for Donald Trump, because they're not doing anything about it. So why not make the change? And I saw something, by the way. What is his name? Who is a savvy investor, billionaire in the US market. And he said, I didn't give Donald Trump a chance. I didn't listen to it. I didn't pay attention. I heard the words that he said, and I didn't have any respect for the way that he treats people and the way he does with himself. But then I sat down with him, and he's a very respectful guy. He paid attention to me. He listened to me. This guy's a concerned person. I have a lot of respect for him differently, but the person that he is on TV is not that same person. And really what Donald Trump is an FU to the politics of business as usual, that everything is just fine. So that changed the way that I looked at him. It's about the policy now, and it's not about the man. And remember, the policy of Donald Trump is very, very pro crypto. So if it's very, very pro crypto, then if you're into crypto like we are, then he is the only candidate, regardless of what Chris Larsen says. That doesn't mean I agree with Charles Hoskinson. I think Charles Hoskinson is a bunker nerd. Okay. But that does mean that I'm still going to vote the same way that he is, but I'm not going to criticize Chris Larsen for not being in a cult. I'm not going to criticize Brad Garlinghouse for saying nice things about a political opponent, because they're not an enemy. They're not an enemy of the people. Only idiots say stuff like that. I mean, did I say idiots? I meant really nice people say stuff like that. So I'm going to vote a certain way, but because, and by the way, these are the reasons right here. This Apple stuff like this, these kind of things are problems. They're problems in our society, and we've got to address them. And it is my belief and my opinion that the current parties are not doing enough about it. And by the way, I don't know what that answer is. If I knew what that answer is, I'd be president by now. I'd be like, let's go, baby. And then they'd be like, yeah, we want to vote for you, please. You know what I mean? So anyway, so Apple's struggling a little bit, which is why we're seeing some sell-off in the market. Michael Saylor, in other news, has now endorsed crypto self-custody following criticism from previous remarks. So even Michael Saylor sometimes has to S that D. So he is now saying that he's all for self-custody, despite the fact that all of his crypto is being held by Coinbase. So Michael Saylor coming out pro DeFi is a very big change so far. That was not a big deal for him In a recent interview with the NZ Herald, senior business journalist Madison Reedy, Saylor advocated holding Bitcoin via regulated entities such as BlackRock and Fidelity, as he viewed it would be safer option with less volatility and risk of loss. In response to concern regarding increased centralization and government control, Saylor, whose views primarily come from paranoid crypto anarchists, stating that such fears were exaggerated. Saylor's comments sparked backlash from several notable figures in the crypto community, including Vitalik Buterin. I'd happily say that I think Michael Saylor's comments are batshit insane. He seems to be explicitly arguing for a regulatory capture approach to protecting crypto. There's plenty of precedent for how this strategy can fail, and for me, it's not what crypto is about. So he's come out to say, I really just did, he's not thinking about it the same way you are. He trusts the process. He is the system. He trusts the system because he's in on the system. Now, if you're into crypto, you're pretty much out on the system. So that's why you're not liking it. You make a choice, whatever. Whatever. You know what I mean? This is the battle between centralization and decentralization. That's it. You know what I mean? That's it. We're gonna have that fight. That fight's gonna continue for a long period of time. The ETFs, the big guys, they're here. So good luck. Speaking of good luck, so I got my money out of Ultrarevo. So if you haven't, go check out Ultrarevo. I was in the indices trading machine. I have not made a decision yet. Look at Tesla, by the way, up 17%. God damn it, believes today was the day, or yesterday was the day to get in on it, with Tesla absolutely mooning today. This would have been the time to get back in that indices trading machine. Damn. You know what I mean? Like, damn. So anyway, we're going to be picking one out. We're going to be doing a new video. We're going to choose one. I'm going to see how I do. Again, 7,500. We'll see what it looks like there. Maybe we'll do I don't know if we'll do the liquid trading machine or we'll do the indices trading machine. But man, look at Tesla. Absolutely ripping today. What a day. Let's look at candles. It is absolutely taking off. So if you haven't already, go check out Ultrarevo, Binance Academy, Crypto.com. These guys all endorse and are partnered with Ultrarevo.biz. So if you want to stake for short term, you can use their indices trading machine, the liquid trading machine, the alpha trading machine, or the D-Score advanced trading machine to get magnificent sort of yields and percentages every single day. These guys are using AI technology, just so you understand, full disclosure. They're using full AI technology to trade and to scalp and take advantage of the market trends. Okay. And advanced AI, I mean, that's the future. That's how the pros trade. So why not you join up Ultrarevo.biz today? Anyway, back to it. Kraken is now picking an Optimism layer 2 to join Coinbase on the Superchain, and they're looking to start this sometime next year, and it goes live. The network is expected to go live in early 2025. If you haven't already, does Kraken have a crypto? Let's go look and see what Kraken's token is. Kraken. I don't know if any of these are. I know they're wrapped Bitcoin. All right, looks like Kraken might not have a token. If Kraken doesn't have a token, you can invest in them publicly. But otherwise, look for Kraken maybe to have a token as a governance. If it does, it's going to moon. And by the way, when I say moon, I mean, you should go back and look at stuff like, what is it, Crow? Not where Crow is today, which is kind of shitty right here. 43 at 2 billion market cap. Don't look at it from this standpoint. Look at it from all time, and look at it for something like this, where it was at what is that? 81 cents instead of 7 cents. So it's 10x away from its all-time high, which means about a 20 billion market cap. So look for Kraken to release a crypto if they do, and look for it to have one of these kind of crazy ass runs. Kraken is one of the biggest exchanges doing everything the right way. So be part of it. Kraken launching that pretty soon. Also, Satoshi's Bitcoin vision to be realized by 2030, details from CryptoQuant CEO. Now, this is Ki Young Ju. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't. Ki Young Ju, the founder and chief executive at Crypto Quant. Okay, boomer. Addressed the Bitcoin community to share his expectation regarding Bitcoin's prospect as a currency. First of all, he mentioned that a staggering 378% increase of the Bitcoin mining difficulty over the last 3 years as a result of the intense competition. He explained that while 50 Bitcoiners could easily be mined in 2009, when Bitcoin launched with just single PC, these days individual miners have a great difficulty succeeding in this sphere. Mining is now largely dominated by large companies that are often backed by institutional investors. The second reason is that Bitcoin's volatility is gradually reducing, since the involvement of the financial institution is growing, along with its appeal as an investment asset. So, Ki Young Ju believes that the growing adoption of, why do I feel uncomfortable saying this dude's name? He mentioned that companies like Stripe are beginning to enter the industry of stablecoin infrastructure. The important date is April of 2028. This is when the next Bitcoin halving will take place. When it happens, he believes serious discussions will arise about Bitcoin's potential to be used as a currency. The reason that for him, per him, will be the decreasing Bitcoin volatility and Bitcoin ecosystem's future further maturing. Finally, he says the big driver of boosting Bitcoin's likelihood to be used as a currency will be the expanding familiarity with crypto wallets and the growing stablecoin adoption. As volatility decreases, Bitcoin's role as a currency becomes increasingly inevitable. So, 4 more years is basically what he's saying. And after those 4 years, then we're going to see something special in cryptocurrency, according to him. Now, speaking of special cryptocurrencies, how about MSI? And if you haven't looked at MSI, what if you haven't looked at MSI, but you have looked at CoinsCheck? What if you looked at CoinsCheck, but you haven't looked at MSI? Well, if you've only looked at one and not the other, you're what the French call dum-dum. You're what the French call dum-dum, dum-dum. Anyway, so Crown Analysis, where CoinsCheck does her articles, has an article up by CoinsCheck on the MSI token. Now, she says, and I'm going to quote her right here. I first heard about MSI through my buddy, the smartest man in crypto, a genius, a god amongst men, believes crypto, who was hyping it up like it was the next big thing in crypto. Honestly, I hadn't really dove into the meme coin world yet, so a name like Monkey Shit Inu wasn't really ringing my bell. But once I found myself knee deep in launching my own coin, I realized I had to do some market research. And let me tell you, MSI quickly stood out like a glitter-covered monkey at a dog show. That glitter-covered monkey throwing shit at the dog eating it, because that's what dogs do. Don't kid yourself. Don't think that the dog that's licking your face on your couch right now, don't think that that dog right there didn't just eat his own butthole a few minutes ago, right before he walked over. He's like, and then he walked over and licked your face, shit face. Anyway, so I would encourage you guys to go look at this article, and check it out for sure. And then while you're at it, quit being a goober. And by goober, I mean a nerd. And by a nerd, somebody who doesn't hold MSI. You got to have some MSI. I'm telling you right now, you got to have it. Ticker trending is already out. So if you have any questions, you can go check it out. Also, if you haven't already, top off CoinsCheck Coin, because, I mean, let's go over here and let's look at it now. And by the way, shout out to Saitama mooning again over a penny now. Guys, I told you it was going to break out. I told you what it was going to do. It's doing exactly what I told. If you listen to me and you got in and you're getting it and you're taking advantage of it, shout out to you. If you're not, what's wrong with you, stupid? Anyway, MSI is up 2.5% on the day. Had a nice little dip over here. It's time for it to break out. Now, it did break out. You guys remember here. It broke out. And now it's retesting that same bottom right here from the spot where it broke out. So we'll see whether or not it continues on. But I think another big impulse move is probably incoming. Let's go look at it over here for a better, so we got some more tools, if you will. But right now it's bouncing off of its zero line, which, by the way, I did a trend reversal here on it. So I'm expecting it to move up here into this 2463 golden zone right here over the next little while. We had downward pressure on the daily. So we got that big green, we got that big red candle. We've had a few red candles over the last couple of days. I think that's going to be a reversal coming back into this range, and then hopefully a solid test of the 786, and then boom, we start breaking out up there and start going towards that golden ratio. That golden ratio currently at 5041. That's not the all-time high, by the way. So that's an encouraging sign that we might be looking at a nice little play out here over the next little while. So check out MSI if you haven't. And as far as coin is going, let's go down here. It's down a tad today because some people sometimes sell, but they don't sell outside of the trend. You can see right here, there's just a whole bunch of small sells that happen every once in a while. And you come down here just a little bit further, and you'll see it was trading at 1600, something like that, just a little while before. So this is just the consolidation for another. We're going to do it on the 4-hour here. Boom, boom, boom. So there we go. So this is the important thing right here. We had a little support along this range right here, did not maintain that market structure. So we didn't have that breakout that it was looking like we were going to have. It broke back down. And what did it do? I mean, guys, you can't write this. You can't write it. What did it do? It came down here and it tested exactly what I said it was supposed to do, right? So I would suspect now we're probably going to see it come up here to about 1800 right here before we start seeing another massive sell-off. Why would we see another massive sell-off? Because folks are stupid. You know what I mean? Hold this long-term and you're going to get rewarded. This bull run is about to kick off. It's about to go absolutely bonkers. By the way, Solana up to 175.75 right now, having a little bit of a breakout. So definitely go check out MSI token. Definitely go check out CC token. Definitely go check out Saitama Wolfpack, because if you have, and by the way, I was in the spaces for a few minutes last night talking about Saitama, stuff like that. 2 bits out here, same thing. And where are we right now? We're up 30% again on the day. This recovery is in full effect. We're at 1 million market cap right now. Look, guys, I think the next step, I'm not sure, I don't know, but I think that we're going to attack right here that golden ratio, which is at 1.5 cents right here. That's going to be the next big impulse move. But after that, there's going to be a moment where we're going to have to figure out what comes next. And what I think comes next, in my opinion, what I think comes next is a move to 10 million market cap. Now, we might stop at 5. It might get rejected around 5. That's possible. But there's a real possibility that Saitama on Solana is about to break out. This is the type of move that we're looking for. What happens when you test your all-time high one more time? Well, let's just take a moment here and let's go back to one. And this is, look, it's not going to be a fair comparison. Some of you are going to be like, you can't compare the two. Well, actually, you can compare market structures. But this, if you come back over here, I just want you to look at this. This was when Pepe hit a $2 billion market cap. Just I'll give you an idea here. It hit a 2 billion market cap. And then what happened is we get, sideways action, which is exactly what's happening with Saitama on Solana. And then what it do is it broke out and it's testing that previous high right there, which is what happened over here. And then look what happened after that. Boom, explosive move. Now, did it go up 10x from there? No, it did not. But it's a much bigger market cap. The market structure is the same. If you come back over here and you look again on the same context, then you're looking at, let me go back to, there we go. All right, so when you zoom out here, what's happening right now? You had this big top over here, then you have this market structure coming down. Now you have a breakout, and now what are you doing? You're consolidating right at the range of your previous high. That's where Pepe exploded and went up. I think it was like 4x from where it was. Something like that, because it had gone down under $1 billion market cap and then went up like 5 billion, so 5x. So it went up 5x from there. It is really entirely possible that Saitama on Solana is about to just explode, okay? And that we're going to look at a few 100% increase right here. Again, why do I think that's the case right now? Well, I don't really. I think that that's just the narrative that the chart is telling me right now, that it could break out to about a 5 million market cap-ish, maybe 10 million market cap-ish. But then after that, it will correct back down because we're not in the bull phase. We don't have a lot of retail here. retail will come back. And when retail finds Saitama Reborn and they see Saitama Reborn, the Saitama Wolfpack, I remember this because I made a ton of money off of it before. They're going to say that. And when they come back, what are they going to put their money in? They're going to put it in Saitama. And you think we can't get $1 million in $1 million more dollars into liquidity into Saitama? I mean, that's 10x, you know, and really when you break it down, it's 6, it's going to be about 25x if we had more, you know, when the liquidity starts to really come in, then, you know, you're talking about 25, 30, 40x from where we are right now. So, you know, there's a real possibility of a gigantic breakout on Saitama. So check it out, if you will. Also, another one that I think is just going to absolutely explode. Look, having a bad day, down 25% on the day, is SPEEDY. But I mean, look what happened here. It just broke down here on the 4-hour. Remember, there's quite a few that have broken down like this and gone way below where you would expect because there's big money sitting here in this project. 23 million market cap, liquidity. And by the way, when did I give it to you? Market cap was what, 4 million? So you're up 6, 7, 8x. Hope you got your original investment out. But also, I think that this thing, once it runs up, by the way, if you're accumulating, I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you that in the event that you were to be an accumulator who is accumulating, then you're in the golden ratio right now on this fib retracement move right now. Like, this is the spot where if you wanted to get in, this is your opportunity to get in for whatever that next ride is. Now, that next ride could go up, could go down. I don't know exactly what it's going to do. I'm only and always making guesses. When you look down here, you can look at this right there. You can look at that right there, and you can make an argument that it's just playing within its own market structure. You can pull this out just a little bit further and say, well, maybe it broke down below here. And, no matter what, when you look at it, you kind of get a sense here and an idea that might be the next bounce area. And then if it does, and if it breaks out, then we're talking about another move up here to 10 cents. So you're talking about another 4 or 5x on SPEEDY, just based on the looks of the market. I'm not saying that it's going to do that, but it has a $23 million market cap right now. And Turbo has a $700 million market cap. And Turbo is kind of the litmus test, if you will, of these turtle meme coins. So it is real possible that, this narrative continues to play out. I think SPEEDY's got some narrative to it. Turbo, SPEEDY. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's got some narrative to it. So you might see these things. You might see SPEEDY just absolutely go nuts over here. And they still have fun with their little memes coming through here. And Crypto Empress is also my buddy. She's my buddy. She's also involved along with Pablo, who's now put it on ticker trending. So SPEEDY is on ticker trending. And if you haven't seen ticker trending, by the way, let's go check it out. This is my dashboard. You can't see my dashboard, but this is my dashboard. Oh, you can see my dashboard. Duh. Stop looking at my dashboard, you dashboard ass dashboarder. Venom is number 1 over here on ticker trending. Undead, Sharby, XPX, MSI, Doomguy, Sato, Spectre, Gata, and Hold, or should be Hodl. I don't know, whatever it is. But you can see right here, Promethean Prodigy is now part of it. AI tickers, number 2 overall is SPEEDY. Number 1 is Venom Inu. By the way, the reason that Venom Inu is on here is because Pablo likes Marvel comic stuff. So, and he also paid the fee for Kronos to get on there. So you have blockchain tickers, you have meme coin tickers. So if you're interested, certainly go tickertrending.com and see what's hot right now. And once you find what's hot, here's your Etherscan page. Here's your chart page. There's how you go to their website, the Telegram. This is all the information that you need. And it's using Dex Screener. So if you are interested and so inclined, you can certainly go check that out. And of course, it makes it easier, by the way, because it gives you exactly what their chain is over here. You don't have to kind of figure it out. But if you like it, ticker trending, kind of awesome. Check it out. And then finally, KENDU. If you're looking for KENDU, then KENDU is, where did it go here? Having about a 2.6% pump as of today. We got a video coming out on it today. What I tell you to happen yesterday, I told you yesterday around, where are we at here? That we're probably coming up into this white area right there. And then we're going to probably break out from that up into this area right here is going to be the next impulse move and the next play. And that's going to be about an 85% move. So I think we've got a big move in the pipeline here for KENDU. 2.5 million market cap, 100,000 in liquidity. I think KENDU is due for another big rip right here. Again, what does it do? Test that all-time high. And then what happens if it gets a nice little test of this all-time high? Breakout, and that's where it goes crazy. And by the way, all of these things are looking like we're getting ready to enter banana zone. So think about this. I think KENDU is about 3x away from its all-time high testing again, just like Saitama, which I just showed you. And there's a lot of stuff in this market that's doing that kind of stuff right now. So expect to see, as long as the crypto is supported by a team, expect to see these things start to do this kind of stuff and have these little breakout moments. So I think you're going to see a nice little breakout happening over here. Now, finally, and in closing, let's talk about DevvE, because you know I love DevvE. This is probably, other than API 3, this is ultimately my favorite project for this in altcoins for the bull run. DevvE, I think, is, and Austin keeps telling me, buy more, buy more, buy more. I'm like, you're not the boss of me. Don't tell me what to do. And he's like, buy more. I'm like, all right, fine, I'll buy more. You know what I mean? So buy more. So if you check this out, you can go with you can go check out Austin and David as they do their weekly roundtable, and then they're giving away more USDT and Dev merch. So if you're interested and so inclined, you can certainly go check that out. But predominantly, there was something that we were talking about. We've talked about this a bunch of times. And look, I just want to make sure that you guys understand, this is the last impulse move. This is the breakout point. This is, and by the way, this is going to do the same thing that I was telling you about on all of these other ones, right? This is going to do the same thing. This is going to go back to its all-time high, and then we're going to find out whether or not it breaks out, and then what happens when it breaks out. In the meantime, we're making little micro moves. Now, let me come over here to this chart over here as opposed to over there, because it's a little easier for me to explain. You can see right here, there's the 200 MA coming down. Here's the 50 coming up, which means that we're about to get the golden cross. So the golden cross most likely happens. Let's just continue that line and continue that line. And we would look for it to happen somewhere around the beginning of November. We would have a crossover. That means bullish momentum through the end of that. And what happens at the end of that? November 6th, that's the last vesting unlock. That last vesting unlock, by the way, is not a cliff of huge amounts. Okay, this is just the final amounts. And just so you guys understand, there's like 300. You get like 300 DevvE unlocked every day at a maximum, or whatever percentage it was that you had on the pre-sale. You get a little percentage of it unlocked every single day, and then every 30 days you can cash it out. So really, just looking at 30%. You're looking at maybe 10%, something like that. You're looking at a small amount. Well, guess what? After that, no more sell pressure, no more dump pressure, okay, from that. So on this, your inflection point, you come up here and then you cross over here, and guess what? That didn't exactly work out, but more like that right there. So right there at this spot is where that crossover is going to happen. If that crossover happens like that, then you're going to see this thing light up. Now, where is it going to go? Where would it go? If it tests the all-time high, then you're coming up here and you're going from 25 cents, where it's right now, 25 cents, up to $2.24. The biggest range of volume right now is where it's currently trading. And then after that is at 50 cents, which is a 2x from where it is right now. And then after that, it comes all the way up here to the volume node is right around from $1.26 up to $1.75. So you're looking at a 7 or 8x right now, just getting ready to play out on these charts right here. Now, in the event that it does what I said previously on a bunch of these, and it comes back up here and tests the all-time high, and it does a successful test over here, then we're talking about 5x from there. What's 5x from $2.30? My projection of $9.67 by the end of the month, or by the end of January. So what are we talking about right here? We're talking about this kind of absolutely parabolic sort of move. And then what would be the market cap on it if it went up to like, $10 or something like that? Well, the market cap on it right now, 9 million, let's call it 10 million to make it easy. So if it 10x from here, then it would be $2.50, which is where I said it was going to go, right? That would be about 100 million market cap. This would mean about $1 billion market cap. So, and by the way, when you find out the partner, when people find out the partner, then that's what I think is going to happen. And by the way, I don't know who the partner is. I have no idea, or the partners, I should say. I don't know who they are. Here's what I know: this company is convinced that at $9.66. And by the way, remember, anytime you have a coin, people are always talking to you about huge numbers and stuff like that. They think, and their opinion is, if you blink, you will miss it, that it's going from 25 cents to $50. And like you won't even, your head will spin at how quickly it does that. Like they're predicting a $5 billion market cap will come like as these announcements start, as you start to find out who it is that have been integrating DevvE into their into the way that they do business for real world assets, for monetary trading, for being in green compliance, for all these different things. All of this, they think that it's a $50, like it's just going to go to $50, like just going to go to $50, and they're not shy about it either. I mean, they're not going to tell you about it. They're going to tell me about it, but they're not shy about it. They think $50 is the next big move here for DevvE. And look, everybody thinks their crypto is going to go crazy. I understand if you are concerned about it. So you have to decide for yourself whether this is the investment vehicle for you. But they think it's going to go $50. So that is, I mean, what's that? 4x 50? That's 200x from where it is right now. I will take a 200x any day. You know what I mean? So you decide what you want to do, but it is my opinion, my humble opinion, that if you don't have any DevvE, you're out of your goddamn mind. That you've lost it. And by the way, here's the website. Oh, by the way, FIAS update, the FIAS update. We should be getting a FIAS update coming very, very soon about the relaunch. It's going to be relaunched, by the way, on the Dev Exchange, because in case you didn't know, the Dev Exchange is almost ready to go. The DevX Exchange, they're, when I don't know exactly what day or anything like that, but it was just the next evolution of this whole project. They're going to have a centralized exchange in full compliance with all laws, and including, I hope, the United States. I don't know anything about that yet, but that would be kind of awesome if the United States was included in that. So if it is, then this will be one of the only centralized exchanges in the United States. Let that sink in if it's the case. So guys, anyway, if you haven't already, I'm going to put, just so you guys know, and you'll see you'll see good trade volume on this, and you'll know that there's some big listings that are coming pretty soon with major exchange, because it always happens. But that's the contract address right there for DevvE right now. If you are interested, it's in the chat. I just posted it, but that is my time. Okay. And I got to get out of here and get ready for my day. The last thing we want to do is the Bitcoin ETF flows after one negative day came back in double the amount positive. That is a great sign. Also, the Ethereum ETF, guess what? 2 straight back-to-back days. Look at this. 5 out of the last 6 days are positive. 7 out of the last 8 days are positive. Guys, things are changing in this market. Things are changing for Ethereum. There's still sell pressure from old Ethereum holders. Still sell pressure. But the reversal in the narrative is fully playing out right now. And when you look at it from a dollar, remember, it was over 500 million, then it was like 469 or 400 something. Now it's 475 million in outflows since then, but it was almost 600 million at some point. It's like 560 million. So we've had an enormous amount of reversal here over the last little while on the flows on the Ethereum ETFs. I think that the worst is behind us, and it is time for Ethereum to probably have a significant pump coming up pretty soon. But as you can see, still kind of waning. And one of the reasons that it's waning, by the way, let's go look at this: $2.7 billion in volume on Solana yesterday, 1.23 million. Again, like if I tell you, don't worry about it, 2.7 billion on Solana, and I say don't worry about it because Ethereum had 1.23 billion, Base had 1 billion, BSC had 900 million, Arbitrum had 600 million, Polygon had 233 million. Will you start adding that up? That's as much as like Solana's real close to all of them today. So Solana is, guys, I think it's time for Solana. I think it's time. And by the way, look at the total value locked. It's now 6.7 billion versus 47 billion. Remember, that was 10 to 1 not that long ago. Now it's 8 to 1. It's just getting better and better and better and better for Solana. So Solana breakout probably getting ready to happen. And we'll probably see that before we see Ethereum breakout. At least that's my estimation of what I see here so far. As far as liquidation heat map goes, I think there's a lot of need right now on the liquidation heat map for a correction still to the downside coming into that 66, 64, 65 range. But really, if we just kind of look at it from the 3-month window, then other than this little pocket right here at 61, the money is still up here at the top. So I think that we're still bullish. I think ultimately we're in October and it is up. So I think it's going to continue to be up, and I think we're in good shape. I think we're in really good shape. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. And remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. And now it's time to go. It's time to pay the bills. Check out Cryptonomy.finance today. What's up, guys? Cryptonomy currently has 850,000 users worldwide. It offers staking for more than 600 coins. Guys, you can earn yield on your favorite cryptos. It also supports over 4,000 trading pairs with the best exchange rates and no fees. On top of that, the company regularly hosts giveaways and provides gifts and opportunities for the community. Let me give you an example of that right now. From today until November 1st, for every fixed staking deposit of 1,000 USDT or more or Launchpool contract created, they're going to give away a random bonus of 50 to 5,000 USDT credited in the native token of the deposit. Now, speaking of this, there is a giveaway that you can see right here. If you got an email, if you're a member, if not, missed Columbus Day, here's your last chance. And that means from November 1st, you're going to have an opportunity to get in on the Columbus Day reward here. Again, this Columbus Day reward is deposit 1,000, get up to 50 or 5,000 USD in credits for the native token that you've made for a deposit. Listen, guys, Cryptonomy makes it so simple. All you have to do is hodl. All you have to do is hold your crypto, grow your portfolio, add in some staking from Cryptonomy, use your fixed staking protocol, use your Launchpool protocol, and start earning yield right now. You let Cryptonomy use your crypto. Cryptonomy turns your crypto into more money for you. That's what everybody's looking for. That's what everybody wants. Make it happen with Cryptonomy.finance today. And listen, let me show you my results again. The completed staking that I did not that long ago, the accrued interest from this was 168,000. That was a 50-50 split that I made with these guys because it was a short period of time. So much so that I went into the bronze where I get a 75% reward, which is, I haven't gotten it yet, but I've accrued 68,173 so far. This contract date ends in June of 2025. The bull run will not be over by that point. And remember, guys, the important part, that's where the top of the estimated bull market is going to be. All of this crypto right here has been staked, and I'm going to get a huge amount to cash out when the time is right. Now, when it comes to the Launchpool, look at the last returns that we got. Storm Trade 2x, Omnia 4x, Trax 2x, Carve 1.64x. These guys are making great gains, and you get a cut of that if you work with the Launchpool. So what are you waiting for? Get started today at Cryptonomy.finance.